It gets me in the mood.
Hello. Gonna get when some people come on in. Before you want it.
I did. I got a little ice cube or two.
Hello, everybody. Just getting a few more people to come on in. We got Katina here while people get coming in and be doing my hookah. Hey, y'all. I'm gonna get my thing.
Of course, voice is a little scratchy, but I'm here.
Oh, we got 3 people. Okay, we can go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing today? This is T-Salt Lab and Raw. I have my guest here, Miss Katina Warren. We're going to talk about these buried curses that we bury underneath to hide the pain. So we're going to get into that. And also, I just want everybody to know that this is, I can't see you, this is T-Salt Lab and Raw. This is our 3rd year anniversary. Woo! We've been on the air for 3 years. I thought it was 2, but I had to change. It's been 3. So, girl, I'm nervous because she about to have me crying, y'all. I already know that right now because
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, yes, you are. My heart beating so fast because I'm going through some stuff right now, so I already know she's going to touch on it, and it's going to make me sad, and I'm going to cry. I'm about to cry right now.
Don't worry.
Thank you. So, we're going to go ahead and let Tina introduce herself while I get this thing going. So you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everybody what you got going on. I DJ all her stuff, all her events. She has, tell them what you be having like in December. When you haven't had, when you can do it this year or last year.
Okay, my name is Katina Warren. For those who don't know, I'm hoarse, y'all. So my name is Katina Warren. For those who don't know me, and in the morning I sound like a real man, but right here I'm just a little hoarse. So I have Party with a Purpose. It's for women of domestic violence, and people are you denying that you're in domestic violence because you really don't know. But we actually party in December. We do a big pajama party, and it's just we donate pajamas, we pack purses in December, and we give back to families of domestic violence because when you don't know what you're in, you don't understand until you come out. So I had to be in it, and it was a generational curse that was in it. So when it comes a curse, it becomes a curse. You just have to know to break the curses. So that's what we're going to speak on tonight, too.
Okay, so, again, this is episode 80, our 3-year anniversary. The topic for today is called Buried Curses. I jotted down little notes. Tina, she can talk off the top of her head. But I had to write down notes. So, it's 2 types of curses. Generational curse and hereditary curses. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, the curse itself, what y'all think the definition, what's your definition of a curse? I put it's an express from adversity that's attacked to one or more persons. So do you think that's relevant?
I think that's relevant. I just have a different way. That's the Webster Dictionary version
okay, so
of
what's
it.
your definition?
But my version of it is a curse because curses, when you're born, you come from a family. So there's curses. You either have a medical curse or you can have a generational curse. So those curses can just be cursed. We just only want to find out in life as women and human beings, as family, of what our curses and where we come from because we all come from somewhere. But yeah, what she said is the dictionary version.
Yeah, the dictionary version. So you think generational curses, let's talk about generational curses. It's passed down from generation to generation. So in order to you will have to break the cycle.
You got to recognize the cycle.
You have to recognize it. You have to own it and recognize it in order to break that cycle. So just say if your mom or someone, was in a domestic violence, would that be like a curse?
Yeah, it's a curse.
Domestic violence, then it's like if you seen your parent getting beat up all the time, so you eventually, when you get older,
you either gonna beat somebody, you're gonna be the beaten.
Right, you're gonna think it's okay for a person.
That's love.
Yeah, because you're gonna think that's love. You're gonna think it's okay for the person to beat you and hit on you and do whatever they want to do to you. So yeah, that's what a generational curse is, and I'm sure a lot of us are going through generational curses right now. But like Tina said, you have to own it. The only way you can recognize it is by owning it.
You have to.
So so if you don't own it, then you're gonna be in denial. Right. So I'm gonna let Tina break it down. Was she came to me to have this topic because she wanted something, had something to say. So, hey, y'all might be crying. I know I'm gonna start crying. So we're gonna let her.
No, we're not gonna go there. I'm not gonna be emotional tonight.
I'm gonna be emotional.
But I was telling her, we were talking on the phone, and I was just letting her know that as for me in my life, so how I live my life is I grew up, and I had to recognize this. A friend told me, and I never knew what I was going through until she made me recognize what I was doing. So until you recognize what you're doing, you really don't know what you're doing. Okay, so only thing that can change the narrative in your life is prayer. Okay, you have to recognize what you're doing to understand what you're doing. You have to listen to get an answer, not to listen to respond. So with that being said, in my life, I did everything in my life to not be my mom. I was raised, I had good grandparents on both sides. My grandparents and my daddy they were married for 60 years. I never heard them curse. I never heard them drink. I never heard them do anything but the right thing. So I mimicked that life. But then on my mom's side, my grandmother gambled. She cursed. I seen her get beat up. Her leg was shot. She was crippled. I seen it. So I understood how to hustle and how to remain a lady. I had to hustle and remain this. I knew I didn't want to be this because I seen what this gets you. I knew I wanted to be this because I just looked at the image of what it gets you. Because everybody has something inside of them that's hidden. And so when you're birthed to the world, whether you know who your family is or where you come from, there's curses in your life. There's diabetes, there's heart attacks, there's cancer. You got something in your life that you took from whoever your family is. So you come from a family. So either you coming from a family chaotic or you come from a family, we all think, we don't know until we know. So when you get grown, as I got grown, I knew that I didn't want to raise my kids I didn't want to be my mom to my children. I wanted to love them. I wanted to work hard. I wanted to give them the things that I didn't have. I wanted to buy them everything that they thought they said they wanted. I wanted all this for them. I worked. And I worked hard and I gave them all this. But what I forgot, I ain't hug them. I ain't tell them I loved them. I just did everything that I thought they needed. So I missed the things that they really needed. So what I took away from both families, one family told me they loved me. The other family didn't never tell me. So I never incorporated that. So if we think about all the bad things our parents did to them, if you take one good thing from them, you can build a foundation.
So why do you think, because as I was growing up, I never heard my mom tell me she loved me, but I knew she loved me. But I guess you have to instill that in your children because my daughter told me when she was younger, the only thing you do for us is just buy us some nice clothes, and that hurted me. Mm-hmm. And that hurted me because she said, we don't go to the movies, we don't do nothing. You just buy us clothes.
Because you miss what they needed.
You just buy clothes. So it's like a cycle repeating itself. So as my kids have gotten older and my grandkids, I tell them every day I love y'all. I tell my friends I love y'all because, hey, you may be here today and may be dead tomorrow. Absolutely. So give those roses to the people that you love and don't try, instead of giving it to them at their funeral or whatever. So my thing is when I pass, I don't even want a funeral because if you didn't come and see me when I was alive, you're definitely not going to see me when I'm dead, okay? So it's like a cycle repeating itself. And like I said, your cycle can come from your mother, your grandparents, all of that comes from. What is a curse to you? It's like a scar. It can be painful.
It can be painful. It can be hurtful.
Hurtful.
It can be everything.
It can leave a mark. It can leave a mark
on your heart that everything. You don't even know that you are leaving. Like you can leave that on your children and you don't even realize because it was left on you. I didn't know that the first man I loved was supposed to be my dad. So because my mom and daddy my daddy was supposed to be the first man I loved. That's I seen my mom and my dad.
Because you had daddy issues.
No, it's not because it's because the first man in my life
was your father.
Was my father.
Okay.
I supposed to love him, okay?
Okay.
So because my daddy beat me, the first man I loved, he beat me and I allowed it to happen. Because the first man I loved beat me. That's what I went through. So until you recognize, I didn't realize that my daddy loved me, but he was beating me. So when a nigga beat me, or the man, for TV purposes or whatever, beat me. I didn't recognize that he didn't love me because that's what love was to me.
Yeah,
because the first man I was supposed to love
beat you so when
was
he
my
did,
dad.
So when he did, you thought it was love.
It was normal.
It was normal to you.
Because the first man that I looked in his eyes that seen me come out was my dad.
Oh wow.
So until you recognize what you're going through and you admit it, you go through curses. Those are curses. So when my baby father jumped on me and whooped me, it was okay to me. It was okay to me.
On vibrate. And her song was "Good Morning Gorgeous" by Mary J. But go ahead.
Yeah. But it was, so I didn't understand. I didn't recognize what was going on. So once I recognized it and I realized that I was in a domestic violence situation, I had to come to grips that, why did I allow this man to beat me? First of all, my daddy beat me. I seen my mama be beat. My grandma was already the first person to be beat. So it was normal in our women or our family dynamic. So every woman in our family was beat. And it was okay. Nobody ever took action and moved forward. So the curse was steadily being carried on. So I just knew that I didn't want my kids to see me beat after being beat in front of my son. So you have to understand, you have to recognize where that stuff come from in order to break where you're trying to take it to.
So you have girls?
I got 2 daughters now. I have one daughter that I birthed and I just adopted.
Okay, so your birth daughter, have she ever been in a domestic violence situation?
She's a domestic violence situation.
Also, so she the beater.
She the beater.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay, so that's a cycle. Yeah. Oh girl. Oh, this is a touchy situation.
But it's a cycle because until you recognize, and when you don't understand your worth, so it's about women understanding their worth. If you don't feed into your daughters what they're worth, they don't understand. Because we are the women. We are the backbone, and they mimic us. And then they do everything not to mimic what we did, and they miss something with their kids. Right. I tell my kids, if your kids turned out as good as my kids turned out, then y'all did good with the roadmap, what I was given. Because nobody had a roadmap. Right. Nobody told me how to raise kids. Ain't no book told me how to burp a baby. Right. Ain't no book told me that a baby might have colic. Ain't no book told me how to change their clothes. It was about my children. Right. So at the end of the day, it's always been about them, and I ain't never made it nothing else but about them.
So what are some forms of curses? Abuse. What it could be
mental, physical, emotional.
Molestation. You think molestation is a curse?
Yes, it's definitely a curse because people keep it quiet. But it's mentally. If I tell you I love you every day, but then I'm whooping you at night, it's a mental curse. Mm-hmm. If we as women don't know your worth, men are fighting to not be their fathers because their fathers were not there. So they become this man that they think they are to their children, and then they become this hero to their wives, but they're not listening to her. We listen to get an answer. We don't listen to listen. Right. So you have to listen to listen. My kids told me to start being, Mom, you got to start being, what's the word they use, baby? You know they should use words I ain't never used. But they use a lot of words. Let me cut this on vibrate. Yeah. But they use, they told me I need to start being accountable, okay, for the shit I do. Okay. So I didn't know I wasn't being accountable because I was always trying to be I was playing the victim, they said. I didn't know I was playing the victim, but they made me recognize I was playing the victim. So now I listen. So when my oldest son got grown, we used to have table talk. Okay. My husband sit on one end, we sit on one end, they sit on one end, so I let them curse because that night they can curse. And because kids kill you, they'll kill your parents. Kids kill parents, they'll kill friends, they'll kill somebody. Let them get this stuff off their heart. They harboring stuff, let them get it off their soul and their spirit. So I allow my kids on the third Thursday of the month cuss. My son told me, this is my middle son, because my oldest son still wouldn't curse because he still would never disrespect me. But my middle son told me, he said, man, you a lazy motherfucker. You'll call us downstairs and get you some motherfucking ice. You 15 steps from the kitchen. But you'll call us downstairs. And the man would bring me a cup of ice and it would be so full. And I'm like, why you put all that ice in there? I was cussing him out. But I never asked him, what you doing? You feel like giving me something? Because it was, I was made to know that a kid do what the parents say. No matter what you're doing and what you got going on, you stop when your parents say do this. Right. So I used to tell you're supposed to. So my daughter would be like, Tina, get down here and run me some bath water. She could be up there in the middle of something. But if I called you downstairs, run me some bath water, girl would get in that tub, that water be so motherfucking hot, I was about to scald. I said, why you run out of that? Why you run out of cold water? Well, Mom, you didn't say you was getting in there now, but she was being low down. So when we had talk, she was like, why you think that bath water was so hot? You need to get your legs ass up and run your own bath water. I'm talking about, and it was good because after the talk, I became their mama and they couldn't cuss no more, but it was good to have insight because now I can respect their boundaries.
Right.
I get my own ice. Even if I want you to give me some ice, then when I ain't speaking to you because I'm mad, and then you can't talk at the end of the tape, it's over. You got to save it to the next time. So when I understood that they had boundaries, then I started doing things for myself.
Okay.
I started realizing that shit, these kids got like they people. They got their own decisions. They got a little mind.
So do you think any of your curses that was passed on to you has passed down to your kids?
Yes, it do.
Really?
I do.
So how are they coping with that? I mean, how
because they recognize it.
No, I said how are they coping? So are they willing? Are they trying to change?
Yeah, they change. They breaking it. They
are breaking the cycle.
Yeah, because they recognize the financial curse. Nobody taught me about credit.
Yeah,
they taught me not. They told me don't kiss no boy, don't get no baby, don't do this, don't do all the stuff that didn't even matter. Right. You didn't tell me anything that was gonna bring me worth. Keep your credit good. Keep it this. So my kids, we're teaching each other about financial freedom, about doing things because we're working together. Because now we understand that we're all somebody. They ain't no less than me.
Right, and then I think I said abandonment can be a curse.
It is a curse.
Especially for us girls, especially if we didn't have our fathers.
Or your mother.
Coming up in it. But mostly girls as far as fathers because we grow up and the first man that say you pretty, boom.
Yeah.
You trying to get that father figure that you didn't have as a child.
I think you're trying to get that. You're trying to get that. I don't think it's the father figure. I just think you're trying to get that. You want somebody to give you
the love that you didn't get.
The love you didn't get, or they trying to stamp who you are.
Because that's what I did. Even though my stepfather has been in my life since I was 5, but like I said, they never said I love you. So the first man that I dated was my kid's father, and my first 2 kids' father. So
he probably took abuse off of him.
Yeah, he used to abuse me, but I got out of it. I didn't stay. Once he blacked that out one time, I was gone.
But at the end of the day, I was black because you didn't know your worth.
Yeah.
Because if you knew your worth when he cursed you out and told you, you would never gave him 2 children. Right. After the first child, it was science.
Right.
After y'all was dating, it's science. You got to you have to recognize the signs
because
there are signs. There are signs come up when ain't nothing else coming up. Like literally, you see signs. There are signs.
Right.
I missed a lot of things with my children, but I don't regret anything I did. If I could go back and change back the end of time, if I was father time, I would go back and do some things different, but I don't regret anything I done. I just make it better. And me and I will make a better life for my grandkids.
Do you think a curse can mess up your ability to live?
Yes, it can if you don't recognize it.
Yeah, because you can get depressed.
And you can just start leaning, because you can start being the victim of everything. Then everything becomes about
everything. What you mean?
Because you'll start saying, I don't like this person because see my mama them did me like this. Then you become the victim of everything. Like you'll start playing back, I don't like this person. You won't let things go. You have to be able to breathe and let it go. And once you accept that a person who don't let them be great, it's fine. Because we start holding on to stuff. I held on everything my mom, my dad, my sister, we all done been into it. I would be like this. And I'd be crying because let this go, baby. I don't care nothing about what them people done did. I'm somebody else. I'm different. I'm trying to change. And only way I can change and change the narrative of my life, prayer. I pray. Because I pray that my kids don't have to go through what I've been through. I pray that my kids love me like I didn't love my mom. I just pray. And that's what we got to live our prayer. You can't change anything if you don't recognize it. Right. And when you recognize the red flags, if somebody curse you out, on the day, you be like, oh, okay, he okay. I ain't mean to do that. I ain't mean to do that. Then you pacify it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't understand your worth. You got to understand who you are, whose you are. I belong to God. Can't nobody do me no.
Yeah, so I'm sure on this live, I'm sure it's a lot of people that are going through curses right now, but just hadn't owned it. And you in denial. I'm in denial. I am in denial. We had a discussion before we came on air. And it just kills me, and I might start crying. I'm trying not to, but I think therapy would be good. Therapy is good. Therapy doesn't necessarily mean that you're crazy. No, it's good to talk to somebody that you don't. I think it's good to talk to a stranger that you don't know. I mean, because some people you can't trust everybody to tell everybody what's going on in your personal life. You have some that you can share things with, but I think therapy.
Therapy is good. It's not that you don't need therapy. We all need somebody to talk to. I talk to a therapist. She told me I be getting angry because I'm hungry. So every time I get angry, I just go eat something. Because she said every time you hungry, you just get in a rage. But if I just need to eat something, if I won't be mad at these people, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, so that's another form I think I put on here about I said depression is one, mental and bipolar.
Everybody say we bipolar because we act like Geminis. We change. That don't mean you bipolar. It just means that you have a good day and a bad day. You ain't been diagnosed with bipolar. Stop speaking things over your life. I'm not speaking cancer over my life, and I get plenty of folks in my bipolar. I'm not speaking that over my life because that's not who I am. Right. I just have a good day and a bad day, but every day I'm continuing. So if you meet me, I'm still going to be me. You can like me. I don't have an in-between. You either going to love me or hate me. I love this girl, she did. I hate this girl, she talk too much. Or she too loud.
You gonna hear me in my
I'm sorry, she too loud. See, she too loud. But women don't understand that we are our own worst enemies. We hate each other for nothing. Mm-hmm. For nothing. You can walk in the room and be like, look at her. She thinks she all that. Mm-hmm. Just because I got on some red bone. But you don't know how many things I had to do to get some red bone. Right. You don't know what I done had to go through, what I done went through, and how I done came through. Right. You want to judge a person by what they get on and what they look. Baby, let me explain something. I ain't my clothes. Just like India, I ain't my hair. I ain't none of that. I'm not that. I'm me. Yeah. Don't judge me by what you see. Talk to me for 2 seconds. Right. You might understand we got something in common.
Right, because when people see me, they say I'm unapproachable. But once you get to know me, I am a good person. Yeah. I do have, like I said,
personality.
I do have a personality, and you have to know my personality to know that I don't mean no harm with the words that come out of my mouth. But sometimes I do. But I think I really do need to talk to a third because I am really going through something right now.
And she doesn't need to be going through it because guess what? I just told her she greater than anything that she going through. So what she going through on her anniversary day, to this day, it don't mean anything. And she'll sit back and laugh on this because it ain't nothing but memories. Yeah. Because guess what? Nobody misses a good thing until it's gone. Right. And until you realize, I told you, your worth. Mm-hmm. You're worth more than you the diamond. So somebody dug in there and got you out. So all your rough spots on a diamond, a diamond can cut you. Right. In plenty of different corners. Right. So if they don't turn you the right way, they cut your hand. So if they lose you, they bleed. Right. Because without you, they can't survive. Do you understand? Yeah. You are the prize. I understand. And you got to tell yourself that you got to walk through here in victory and be like, Lord, I'm it. Yeah. I am. And look in the mirror and say, it ain't like it look. Because this situation ain't like it look. It's bad to you. Because that's what the devil wants you to think. Yeah. He wants you to be down on yourself. Oh, whatever it is, I done did this, I done did. Yeah. He wants you to do that. Yeah. He don't win, he don't get victory. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can't allow anybody to win. He is. He don't win. Yeah. He can't even. An idle mind is a devil's playground. Right. So if your mind is idle, the devil playing. Right. He telling you, yeah, they don't like you. Yeah, they against you. There it is. So you can't let it be idle. You got to be reading the Bible. What the Bible says, this right here. The Bible said, I got in my shoes, I have a piece of sticky note in the bottom of most of my boots. And I put on there because I'm walking on God's word. Mm-hmm. He said, we have not because we ask not. Right. So everything I ask God for, I walk on his word because you said, if I stand on your word.
She needs to be a permanent co-host. I like her.
If I stand on your word does not come back void. Right. So I put it in my shoes and I tape it down. Because, Lord, every time I walk, you guide my footsteps. Right. So if I'm walking on your word, anything out here in this world don't defeat me because your word stands when don't nothing else stand.
That's right. Hey, now, girl, you better, y'all, you an evangelist too? Okay. Hey.
I'm trying to work it.
Okay, that's hey, you working through the Lord through me. And I appreciate
it's gonna be all right.
It sure is. So, what are some examples of generational curse? Come on, y'all, speak to us. Oh, girl. What are some I put poverty as one. And like some of us that the hurt and pain that we endure, we tend to go to alcohol and drugs to hide the pain, to numb the pain.
That's why I do no drink January, because I need to make sure I'm not an alcoholic. And it takes me 31 days to clear my mind from the last 240 some days that I had to deal with people. So I need to not drink for 30 days so I can pray, fast, and ask God to give me the mindset to be able to deal with somebody come February 1. Because if you done made me mad in January and you done did something to me, see, I can't like you and be with you at the same time. Like, I can't like you and ride in the car with you and then I'm mad at you because we're going to have a talk.
Right.
We ain't pulling off. Look.
Yes. Someone said teenage pregnancy. You think
teenage pregnancy?
Yeah. It's a curse?
It is a curse. Yes, it's a curse.
You said teenage.
I shake my leg now.
So teenage pregnancy is because your mama's pregnant 16. You
was pregnant at 16? Because your mama didn't watch you. So when it poisoned her.
Okay.
Drug addiction. This abuse is a curse. If you see your mom get whooped at 3 and she got a baby at 16, it's the same thing.
Yeah, my father, my real father, he was a drug addict, real bad, and I just thank God that it didn't come to me because I don't do drugs, never have. I might smoke a blunt every now and then back in the day, but and I'm just thank God that it skipped my generation.
But you broke the curse because it had to. If you didn't recognize the curse, my grandmother was an alcoholic. My mama and my uncles and them was drug addicts. I watched their life and I said that I'm not going to be there. I didn't start drinking until I turned 30 years old.
Oh, okay.
I never drank anything. I got married at 26. I didn't drink none of my weed because I didn't drink.
Okay.
I didn't drink. I didn't like the smell of it. I didn't like the taste of it. And I knew I never wanted to be an alcoholic. And because alcoholism running our family, I think it's that vein right there. Mm-hmm. I didn't drink. I drink now. Mm-hmm. And then I used to overindulge and get on live because I don't do that no more because, grow. Grow. But it was a curse.
Yeah. So what about the molestation curse?
Molestation is a curse, but people don't tell it.
Yeah, because they're the person they did to it probably
still in the family.
Yeah, and probably scarred them when they was young. If you tell it, like
you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
My uncle tried to molest me.
Yeah.
And I told it. My grandma poured hot grease on.
So you think by being molested at a young age, do you think that makes a person
bitter?
No, not bitter, but like they're gonna molest somebody. Do you think this
because they took their sexual, and it's not only for women.
Yeah,
molestation is for men. Mm-hmm. And guess what? When you lose your sexuality, sometimes kids crave when you violate it. So kids crave what they were getting. Oh. We don't understand. You crave drugs. You crave sex. You crave abuse. Because we sometimes, as women, we provoke abuse because we want to get our ass whooped sometimes. I'm just going to say, because you don't want it, but if we don't want a simple man that's going to say, okay.
Yeah.
We want somebody to sit your motherfucker down. Yeah. You want that because you done had that.
Yeah.
You understand? You want an aggressor. We don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
But we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want somebody that's going to be like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere tonight. Where you going? You want somebody to ask questions because if you can run them over, you don't need them because you can be your own one.
Right. So back to this molestation. So like if you've been molested as a child, so when you grow up, do you think that, like for females, do you think that leads them to being promiscuous when they get older?
Look at Aretha Franklin.
Well, what about Aretha?
Her story. She said she got a baby at 12.
Yeah.
She was promiscuous. She slept with every man she liked. So it's for each his own, I think. Mm-hmm. Because if I was molested, I'm gonna watch my kids. I'm gonna be so tough on them so that can't nobody violate them like somebody violated me. So I'm still trying not to be my mama. I'm watching her because then nobody watch me.
But then you know what? Like being molested, I don't think I ever been molested. I can't remember. I don't think I have. I'm sure it would have came back by now.
Yeah.
But being molested, it's really. Oh, good.
It's not just sexual.
How can you? What way can you be
molested? A man could molest you by an older man at your house can molest you by telling you how good you is. He can just touch you. It don't have to be sexual. And every time he come, you under him. It can be mind, somebody playing with your mind, an older man, and then you'll fall for it. It's not always just sexual. You can molest a person's mind. You can molest their body. It's more into it than that.
It's more into
I think.
Okay. And let me see. Anything else you have to say? Anybody got have anything to say? And we're gonna get into this hereditary curse. We were speaking on generational curse and all of that. So someone said education can be. How can education be a curse?
It can, because if your mama didn't graduate, you didn't graduate. Nobody paid attention to you going to school. Nobody knows your worth. So if nobody fed into you, So my story on education, and I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. I did it. Can't hide it from God. Who are y'all to judge me? So all my kids graduated from high school. My husband's diplomas was on the little mantle. I dropped out of high school. My mom was on drugs. She sold stuff. I was picked on the bus. They told me to tell my mama stop knocking on their door, selling underwear, pork chops, and steaks.
Oh.
So, I mean, I was bullied. And bullying was way back then. And so I didn't know my worth. I didn't understand that I could have overcame that and I could have ignored it. So at 40 years old, I got my high school diploma.
Oh,
I moved to Texas, got my high school diploma because
okay.
everybody had a high school diploma but me. But I realized that I wanted to do it for myself at 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it at 40 because I wanted it. I wanted something to identify who I was because, like I told you, I didn't know who I was because my mama left me at 12, my dad never left me at 12, so I allowed a 12-year-old to raise my kids, and my girlfriend made me realize I guided my kids based on how I was left.
So at 12, you raised yourself. Did the streets raise you?
It's not about the streets raising me. I was stuck at 12 because my mama got on drugs when I was 12. My parents got on drugs. I was kicked out of private school. My parents got a divorce. So I was still stuck in the mentality of 12. So I allowed my life to mimic off a 12-year-old. I knew that my kids were not going to be kicked out of private school. I knew my kids were going to have a stable family. I knew that we weren't going to get a divorce. I was stuck at 12. And about me raising myself at 12 is where I was stuck at.
Okay.
Because you can be stuck somewhere where your parents leave you. So I was stuck that 12-year-old. I still been living that 12-year-old girl life. Because I never allowed her to grow up. Because when was she going to grow up? Because at 12, her mama left her. She had to raise some children. It wasn't her. So I still was stuck at 12.
So how many of y'all are still stuck? Because I'm still stuck. How many of y'all are still stuck? Are you still stuck a little bit?
No, I'm rebuilding continue. I'm finding out who she is.
Okay.
I'm learning who she is because I recognize the stuckness.
Okay.
You know, my friend made me recognize you stuck. You still, if you replay things in your life that your parents did to you, you stuck. You never let it go. Mm-hmm. So when you let it go and it becomes, you don't have to cry about it anymore. Yeah. You don't have to, it doesn't penetrate your heart anymore. Then you recognize that that's where you were stuck at. So it wasn't about me being 12 and being I just was stuck there. Like my daddy was stuck in the 70s, so he still lived his life off the 70s. Because he was still stuck in the 70s when he got on drugs. He still was stuck. So he still was talking about things in the 70s. So when I raised my kids, I talked about, well, I ain't finna leave my kids doing drugs. I ain't finna do this. I ain't finna do that to my kids because it was done to me. Because I still was that little girl fighting not to be my mom.
Somebody said on Instagram, once you find your solution, you solve the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like we've been saying all night, you have to own it.
Gotcha.
And you have to own it and you have to recognize it in order to get past it and break these cycles. These kids nowadays, they're not like how we came up. These kids
we did. We fucked them up. They overprivileged. We try not to be our mama. They didn't get up on Saturday mornings, listen to the blues. They don't appreciate the blues. They didn't watch the baseboards. They didn't they didn't go to church. We didn't raise them like we was raised. We had to go to church on Sunday. You didn't go to the skating rink if you didn't go to church. Mm-hmm. So we messed them up because we was too busy trying not to be where we were stuck. You was too busy letting your kids do everything they wanted to do. You didn't want to watch the baseball. Grandma made you get up and watch the baseballs. You didn't want to pick peas. You didn't want to do everything. So you did not You didn't give your kids the positive things that your parents gave you. You took away everything positive and gave them everything negative. You gave them everything they wanted, every Jordan they wanted. You made sure they was fresh at every school play. Sometimes you hold the same stuff. You go to the school play to the next play. It didn't hurt you.
Right.
You had the popular kids, you had these kids, but we were so busy trying not to be what our parents made it. We were stuck.
Right. Someone on Instagram said some of these kids today are raising themselves.
They are.
Yeah, because the parent can be incarcerated maybe.
And they don't have grandparents are the same age as the kids.
Yeah, the grandparents 22.
Right.
Shit. They 22.
So we had real grandparents.
Yeah, we had mom.
Yeah, I had
Big
grandparents.
Mom.
My grandmama and both my grandma. I had a mama and grandma. But you got to know that we still didn't raise them to stay in the house how to cook. I cook, but I've been cooking since I was like 12, 13 years old. I've been cooking because I had no choice.
Yeah.
But I had a good grandmama and a good, when I went to Mississippi, I had this grandma, we picked peas in Mississippi. In Chicago, I didn't have to pick peas. I can lay in the bed. My grandma was going to watch the Smurfs. She wasn't going to make us get up and clean up. But in Mississippi, you had to baseball. She went to the yard sale, baby. You gonna wear some yard sale clothes. She gonna went everywhere. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
But we took our kids. My kids ain't never wearing secondhand. My kids gonna have a this or these. I'm gonna work hard for my kids. But you trying to feed them what you didn't have. But if you look in the mirror, see what we didn't realize. I turned out okay. I turned out okay. So me washing the dishes, cleaning the baseballs, me doing the things my grandma wanted us to do did not hurt me. Yeah, I turned out to be a good person. I don't rob people. I don't jack people. I appreciate. I love. But we didn't instill that to our family.
So most of these are young men. So you think these young men that's robbing and killing, you think that's a curse?
Yeah, it's a curse. If one come to my house, they mama gonna be singing along.
So where do you think that come from? Because they dad.
It's because they don't have. Because it's grandparents is 40. The mama is 19 or 15. These kids, the parent ain't raised her daughter yet. The daughter can't raise her kid because she ain't been raised.
Right.
So it's gonna be a curse. Because they haven't, and then they want stuff. They see kids with Jordans on. They want to rob somebody so they can dress like, because they ain't been taught. And then these gangs are mentally molesting our children. Because it's telling us that they can give them something we can't. And because we not recognizing, taking their phones, going through what they doing, you don't ever, I snatch my kids' devices. Yeah. I would go through it. See, ain't no sexting. Because we so not proactive. We let the iPad learn our kids everything. The TV learn our kids. Daddy finger, videos. We let all that teach our kids. We didn't have that. We went outside, played red light, green light. Simon said, hang go seek. These kids don't even know what mosquitoes feel like. They don't know nothing.
They don't know none of that.
But because we stopped letting them do it. You stop making your kids go play on the playground. You stop making them go outside and play basketball. I told my kids in the summer, get outside. Ain't nobody been in my house running my electricity. Go outside. I ain't care if it was hot.
And then back in the day, like you go outside, your mama locked the door.
You would be outside, but guess what? Guess what you said? Outside with your friends. I ain't gonna never make my kids sit outside. It's hot out here.
I used to lock my damn door.
I'm just saying it's hot out here. But you was I never let my kids do it. I'm just saying it's just. We raise our kids based on what we don't want to be.
This generation is totally different than how we were coming up. Someone on Facebook
you never mess with old people.
Yeah.
You never mess with kids, old people, or women. Not they'll rob anybody. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. Someone on Facebook said, when we make a habit of giving our kids everything on time, it messes their mind up when we release them in the world that seems to run late sometimes. Tyke said, not enough older grandparents to show these kids and their parents how life should go. Too many parents are friends with their kids. But I'm friends with my kids, but they still get jacked up though, because they don't disrespect me now. But I'm kids with my friends.
Your kids are grown.
Yeah,
so your kids with your young ladies. Yeah. Your kids with your women.
Okay.
You're not friends with your kids. Too many kids. What he's saying is too many people want to be friends with their kids at their kids' age. Okay. Your kids walk through here 12 and 13, they slam the door. Come here, boo. What? No, you don't. I take the door off the hinges. You gonna have no door.
Right.
And put it in the garage. This is my house. You don't slam no door. We don't shut no door. Just open door policy.
Right. So you think I think I put it here like being in a relationship can be cursed too, because you grew up with drama. You grew up in toxic relationships all your life. So I think you're taking baggage and drama and toxic shit to your relationship. So that's probably how some of these relationships are not working out.
No, I think that when you see toxic relationships in your growth, when you're growing, you want to change. You want better. I didn't want to stay with nobody beat me. I knew that I seen my mama be beat. That's when you recognize those curses. Mm-hmm. Like I told you, your worth is more than anything. You worth more than anything. So if you taking something from a relationship that's not supposed to be taken, and you recognize it, because it's already been signs. Mm-hmm. And when the signs are there, you got to recognize. I'm not taking second place. I ain't playing second fiddle to nobody. I'm number one. Period. That's it.
Right. It says 7 signs of love being cursed. You don't believe he or she can be trusted or faithful. I have that problem.
Because you don't trust yourself.
That's what it is.
You don't trust yourself. So you question people You question the trust of somebody when you don't trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know you'll do something, you wondering what they'll do because you know you can be tempted.
Mm-hmm.
They can be tempted.
Mm-hmm.
So what you doing? Then you question it. I mean, you don't trust yourself.
Okay. So you think that's insecurities?
It's definitely insecurities.
Insecurities like from my past and my
It's
childhood?
not, it's just insecurities from, it could be from your childhood, but it could just be from you. You not understanding, you not looking in the mirror and saying, I'm beautiful. I know what I deserve. You understand? I know what my worth is. I know. And once you realize that God sent me a man, because he who found a wife found a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't supposed to be chasing no men out here, period. But he who found a wife found a good thing. And guess what? When he found you, understands the favor of God, but you got to recognize, you have to build them up. So many women don't realize men have already been beat down. Mm-hmm. And you beat them down worse. It takes a little bit of nothing to please a man. Buy him some underwear, fool him good and love him right. That's my motto. So you got to make sure you do what he ain't never had done. Because guess what? He married his mama. Or somebody like his mama, his auntie, grandma. You did. So you got to show him the love that he's never had. We beat him down. They didn't have no daddy.
Yeah.
Then you going to make him feel worthless.
Yeah.
You ain't she. You ain't cop. I mean, I done did. I done been there. I done
Yeah,
it.
I have.
But I recognize that that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I found
You have to
myself-
build. We have to build each other up as a family, as a household. He has to tell you your worth, and you got to explain to him, thank you for going to work every day. You know, because he ain't obligated. He can just leave.
Right.
Without you knowing, and you stuck.
Right. Stuck again.
So when you recognize your worth, and you understand, and then all you take to do is lift them up.
Mm-hmm.
Cook some dinner every now and then. See, we so busy. If we gave, a girl told me the other day, she said, you gave social media, there's more time you get to your man, it'll be a better relationship.
Okay.
This right here, I mean.
Yeah. Jennifer said they are out in the world not knowing how important a good credit score is, how to pay bills on time, knowing about insurance, life insurance, having a bank account, and they are dumb to the world. Good. Amen.
It's dumb to the world. But life insurance, none of us understand how important life insurance till you get a GoFundMe. Till you get a GoFundMe. My son today, your kid can be 2 years old, 1 year, put a policy on them. Yeah. It costs you $2. $2 you're going to spend trying to buy some Jordans. And then we see our parents didn't get the important, they knew the important things. They didn't buy us $200 and $300 pair of tennis shoes. They made sure we ate, we had some hot water. It may not have been what you want to eat. It may have been none, but we want to make sure our kids have everything. I ain't know what fast food tastes like till I turned 17. Never had McDonald's.
Sexy Coco says some women grow up in toxic relationships, so they either gonna think that it's the way it's supposed to be, or they will run from that kind of relationship because they don't want it. Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
I need to get from being stuck.
Yeah. You gotta stop being in that same situation.
Repeating itself.
It's a cycle repeating itself. And then guess what? Your daughters, you love them and you're their friends, you're their women friends. But if they see you going through something and y'all don't have an open door, it's certain things they're gonna tell you and certain things you ain't gonna tell them. Because you ain't gonna tell them about what you're going through. Because see, mama can't go through nothing. You understand? I'm saying, but
me and my oldest daughter have a good relationship.
You have a good, but you got to make sure.
But she's going through the same shit.
But then see, that's why you got to feed into her. It's like repeating itself. You have to tell your children, like, literally, I don't ever want you to go through what I went through, and I don't ever want to take anybody through what I done took people through.
Yeah, and my daughter also told me when I said that, she said that you on about us nice things. You don't tell us you love us. You don't do this, and she said. She's married and she's going through some with her husband right now. She was like, "Well, Mama, I seen you taking men money and doing all that and talking crazy to him, and you never showed us how to love a man."
Right? Because you didn't know how to love a man.
Didn't nobody show me how to love a man. I just thought, hey, you supposed to talk crazy to him and.
But see, that's why everybody needs therapy. You don't want to be talked crazy to, so you got to understand you can't talk crazy to that person. I'm guilty. I am 100% guilty on the Bible. But I've understood that nothing can provoke me to make me go left anymore. Like my family, my friends, I'm lost when it comes. I don't have a 900 number. I don't get a feed to read your mind. If I do something to you, tell me. Because I don't recognize I'm doing it. Right. But if I love you and I care for you, I won't do it anymore. But if I do keep doing it, that means I don't care. And when people keep doing the same things to you over and over again, they don't care.
I mean, but if you've been doing it for so long, it's just not going to stop automatically.
It doesn't have to stop automatically. It has to stop when you recognize it.
Yeah.
When you recognize it, then it should stop. Because you should stop in your tracks and say, damn, is this how this supposed to be? And look at it. Write down all the goods a person brings to you and all the bad. If they bring you more bad than good, you need to ease your way out of it. Right. You need to ease your way out of it because this can't outweigh this.
Right.
If they equal out, then y'all need to bring some more good into it.
Right.
But if this is outweighing this, it's crazy. We don't have to go through
it.
It's redundant. You just don't have to go through being in something that you don't want to have to be in.
You don't have to go through being stuck.
You don't have to, because it's stuck. You stuck.
You're
stuck. And if you get your kids to the table and tell your kids just 1 month, 1 week out of the month, just 1 weekend out of the month, 1 week, 1 day out of the month, and let them tell you how you feel, you'll be surprised how your kids feel about you. You are going to be so surprised because they're going to be able to open up and you said, y'all can cuss, tell me how you feel because they cussing anyway.
Right.
But when they can tell you how they truly feel, Mama, you ain't shit, you ain't do this, XYZ. I'm telling you, I cried. My children told me some stuff. When I say literally, it broke me down to almost die because I didn't even recognize it. But when they told me how to take accountability for how they feel, it made me feel different.
Okay.
Because I never knew that what they needed, it wasn't nothing. They wanted time. Mm-hmm. They wanted to do some things. They wanted to be a part of my life besides sitting on the couch when I don't feel like going to the club. Or when I ain't got something to do, they can give me the time. They just wanted me. Me dressed with pajamas on, wig off, hair. They didn't care. They just wanted me.
Right.
But I tried to give them something that they didn't want. I gave them the luxuries. I just didn't give them me.
Right.
And it's hard.
And that's all they want.
And when you let them sit at that table and they tell you, girl, it'll break you down. When I say it broke me down, it broke me down. I'm talking about it. Because I done thought I did everything for these kids. Mm-hmm. I done sucked up, did everything for y'all. Period. You ain't have to want for nothing. I did a whole lot of stuff for y'all. And then when them children told me some stuff, girl, I cried. Because, see, I didn't even recognize. Because it wasn't never brought to my attention. And so when they got grown, they could bring it to my attention. And it hurt me. I'm being honest. It killed it. Almost telling you, let them kids tell you how they feel. Because you don't know how your children feel because you always got an answer for every problem.
Right.
Mama, you said you was going to do it. I'm going to do it, goddammit. I'm going to do it. You just give me time. I already said I'm going to buy it Friday. You in your head trying to figure out how you going to get it. Instead of giving them the correct answer, I'm trying, honey. You ain't listening to what they telling you because they might just be telling you, Mom, you ain't get this because I need to have this by this day, but you ain't got to be in a hurry. But we don't listen to that. We just listen to that. Mom, you said you was going. Right. Then you got an answer, but you don't listen to hear.
Right.
We listen for an answer. And I do it all the time.
Yep.
Friends, family.
Yep.
I do it. I'm learning. I'm trying to catch myself to not do it no more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to better yourself and recognize and own it to break this cycle and stop being stuck. Because whatever you put out is what you're going to get back.
If you sow good seeds, you get good harvest.
Yeah.
Sow bad seeds.
I sow good seeds, though.
But you can't tell you when God ready to give you your heart.
I know.
He going to give it to you.
He going to give it to
you. You got to recognize everything that's a curse to you. Whether it's this life, whether anything that's a curse to you that you're not bringing out to permission, you're not bringing out, saying what's going on. You can't hide. Like, I can't hide it. If I'm mad at you, baby, I can't hide it. You're going to see it on my face, or on my body language, or my tell it. So I just got to tell you, you hurt my feelings yesterday. You hurt my feelings. I ain't like the way you treated me. And you got to tell your kids how to tell you. My kids will tell me all the time, Mama, you did so and so and so and so. And then I'm like, and I want to justify it because I know why I did it. But I got to understand how they feel. So I can't justify, I just got to listen.
Ooh, child,
it's hard.
A touchy situation. But I did good. I got tear-eyed, but then no tear rolled down. So I did good. Thank God. So we're going to end this live But like Tina said, own it, talk about it, and stop getting stuck in the same situation you have been doing from when you started dating or whatever the case may be. We got to get unstuck. I have to get unstuck.
You got to stop being stuck.
I have to look in the mirror and say I'm gorgeous, like Mary J said.
Yeah.
So if y'all have anything else to say, anybody else have anything to say before we get up out of here? We finna drink our wine and I'm finna cry to Tina. Okay?
Bye, y'all.
Thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week. If y'all have any topics that y'all want to talk about, then y'all already know what to do. Just put it on the comments. And hopefully Tina will come back. Tina, you gonna come back?
I will. I'll come back.
Somebody said you sexy. You a good person, T, but it's a lot of you probably need to let go and get unstuck. Right. You're absolutely right. Thank y'all for tuning in to Table Talk with T-Salt Live and Raw.
Yeah.
3-year anniversary, baby. Yes. So if no further, if we don't have anything else to say, we're out. Peace out. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
All right.
Tina, you got anything coming up you want them to know about?
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing but my baby shower on Saturday.
Yes, T-Salt has the DJ.
Yes, the baby shower.
All right. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye-bye.